The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. We're going to start the day with the DAX like we usually do. As you can see, we've been in a slight uptrend. We had a little bit of a rally starting today, and it's held relatively well. We're still about these same prices. This was just relatively recently that this was posted. And then, of course, we want to take a look at the FTSE, because that's where a lot of the news is coming from because of the problems that they're having trying to correct what's going on with Brexit, which anybody knows what's going on. You know what that is, remains to be seen. I've had a question about the Bitcoin. I'll be happy to bring this chart up, but this is really starting to look quite nasty, folks. If you take a look at this Bitcoin chart, you're going to see that we had a period there in early June where we had this really, really quiet 8-day rally, and then the big move down, and that really signals, a lot more. And on that 3 days ago, which was a Sunday, that's when we broke below that 786, which was at the 7,000 level. Now we're trading down around 6,500 and change, but it certainly looks like we're heading towards those larger numbers. You can see on the bottom where the 1.27 and 1.618 expansions are pointing. That's at $4,000 a share. That's down quite a bit from 19,500, but it would still be up quite a bit from when it first started trading at 6 cents a share. So it's really amazing. If you ever get a chance to study the history of that stock, it came out in 2010. It's really quite amazing. It had several 85% corrections. I mean, from high levels, from $185. I mean, they had some really serious corrections. And yes, it kept going and going and going. So it's not about the Bitcoin, it's about the blockchain. And I certainly think that that's probably something that is, very, very, very important down the road. Now, I wanted to share some work from our good friend Rich Anderson, by the way, of More Research out of Oregon. I want to bring this up to show it to you. Steve Moore has the best seasonal work that we've ever seen. He and Twentyman happen to be very good friends. I met Steve many years ago. But if you ever get up to his place, and he lives out, he's a rather sort of a recluse, but on his wall is a picture of the deed to his property from his great grandfather, and it is signed by nobody but Abraham Lincoln himself. Now, this is a copy because Abraham Lincoln's signature is one of the more valuable ones, so that they keep in a safety deposit box, I would assume, but you can see it. It really shows you, you're looking at something that goes back a long time. But they were homesteaded, back in those. Evidently, his ancestors were part of the group that came over right after the people from Donner Pass. So it's really quite amazing, the history behind it. But Steve has some fabulous work on seasonals. If you'll take a look at this next one, which is also interesting. By the way, we're going to have a special guest, of course. Norm, we call it like the Minute Winsky, will be on at 9:30 to give us a little recap of what we're looking at. And of course, we do have a new moon today, which is going to be always exciting. As you can see here, this is the seasonal for platinum, and so far it started to work. Whether it's going to continue working or not, we'll have to wait and see. Now, gold last night came under a tiny bit of pressure. Boy, I'll tell you, though, the silver is not coming under any pressure, folks. Silver's looking actually pretty good. Just give me a second here, and I want to get the gold chart up. And where is the gold chart? I think this is it. Nope, that's not it. Okay, hold on just a second here. All righty, just give me a second. I think this is the gold. Please be the gold. Nope, that's not the gold. Oh boy, I'll tell you. Maybe this one is the gold. I think there's the gold. Hold on a second. We'll be right with you here, and you'll be taking a look at this one. And that's that's pretty good, David. Okay, you'll notice here that we were looking. There's some. Last night we got down to 1294. Then we rallied up to where we are right now, which is around 1298 and a half. There's a possibility, of course, that we could get down to that 1285 without too much, and we could even go below that 1285, to match that old low that we had way back at 1280. Oh gosh, where would that be? That excuse me, that number is 1290, not 1285. I'm sorry, I had that typed in wrong. But that's what we're watching here in the gold. Silver looks incredibly bullish, folks. I mean, it doesn't back off at all. It really doesn't. It's just, it's really quite amazing. Stock index futures are all higher again this morning. But if you check the open interest, you'll know that there's not many new buyers coming in during this run up to new highs. So I'd be very suspect of continuation move from this level. And that's including the fact that we're rolling over from the June to the September contracts. So that's another one that you want to sort of keep in mind because it's relatively important. I wanted to share one other seasonal, and that is this is from More Research. I'll put up the front of the letter so you'll be able to see it. This is the cycle for the gold market, and you can see that during the time of August is from July all through the summer months and into the fall, we have a really strong seasonal bias for gold. Now, whether that happens this year, who knows? But the thing is that it does have a positive bias, at least during this time of the year. So I think that's something else that's important. Also, with this new moon, we should be looking at a bottom here and possibly these grains, and we're going to be seeing what's going to be happening. Yes, Marshall, that's the exact price. Yeah. Anyway, this is one of those times, much like we had. Let's just remember what happened here just a few weeks ago when we were right at these highs. Let me just show you where we are. Just give me a second. I want to bring up the beans here because here's where we are. Get this chart up, and this is where we were 2 weeks ago. We were right up at that top at 1066. There was a triple top. It actually hit it 4 times. And then we've come all the way down. And last night, folks, we got all the way down to $9.63 a bushel, which is just under the 78% level going back to June of that year. So this has been straight down for 2 weeks. This big drop that we're having now is very similar to the drop in price, almost exactly, to the move that we had from July and August of last year. That's when the market had a big break. It broke, well over $1.50, and this one has dropped almost that same amount. So we should be at a bottom here based on what we're looking at with the new moon and also these prices coming down because the weather has turned very beautiful for growing and with rain and nice warm weather without any drought or anything. So positive. 877-927-6648.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profile So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance, David White's daily market letter, gives you trade recommendations based on David's proprietary power law vector indicator that put the odds of success overwhelmingly in your favor. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price for each stock and option trade. David combines his years of trading experience along with his background in technology and computing to offer his subscribers his take on the markets on a daily basis. Every trading day by 9:30, David publishes his morning issue of The Path of Least Resistance, along with updates sent out throughout the week whenever there is new actionable trading information. All new subscribers receive a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. To sign up for David White's daily trading newsletter right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Larry takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Okay, we've had a request to take a look at copper. And as you can see here, this was the chart from the newsletter this past weekend. And the thing that we were watching, of course, was the big 1.618 expansion that led up to that double top. And basically what that inference was for, if we went above that 331, we were looking at a possibility of a real explosive move. Probably would have been somewhere between 8 and 10 cents per pound in copper, just the acceleration itself. But we stopped right at that double top and right at that 1.618 expansion. At least for now, we broke all the way down to 322 a pound. We're trading around 324 a pound now. So there's a possibility that we've got a double top working here in copper, but it is still very, very early. The key to this are these wide-ranging bars that you see. When you see those really strong green bars like that, folks, you don't want to get involved on the short side of anything like that unless you've got a reason. And the only reason you can find if you're trading pattern recognition is to have at least 2 or possibly 3 ratios coming together at the price that says, yes, it's got to turn from here, or, you know, it's going to keep going up. And that's what it's all about, is you got to be able to change your mind, you know, if the market doesn't move, you know, if it doesn't move in your favor. That's the key. It's better to lose your opinion instead of your money. That's a famous quote by Paul Tudor Jones. But this still has a bullish bias. The pullback that we've had so far this week is nothing more than a 382 retracement of that last low we made at the 61% retracement at $3.01 per pound. So that's what we're watching here in the copper. So we'll see, you know, how some of these things unfold, but it's going to be extremely interesting for sure. Now, one of the markets that we've been following, which we always follow, especially during the time, you know, of the new moons and full moons, has been the wheat. And as you can see, it's still in a very, very strong move in wheat. We had a 15-cent move to the upside in wheat yesterday. It's still quite a bit higher. It's given back a few pennies this morning, but not very much compared to what you've given back in the bean market. The bean market's given back everything that it had last year, you know, which was virtually nothing. And we dropped another 17 cents from the high, down 10 cents from the previous close. Now the corn, Christmas corn, had a low of 388, and we're trading around 396 right now. So that's held that level pretty strongly. But if we can close above $4 a bushel in December corn, I would say you'd have to take a look at it from the long side and putting your stop under that low if it is in fact today. Now, if you happen to be in a red pickup truck from the south side of Terre Haute, Indiana, you can actually, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, you can, I did. That's terrible. Anyway, let's move on to something else. I was trying to be funny and it didn't work. Anyway, be sure you use a stop if you're going to be in the corn. That's what I was trying to say, is load the pickup truck with some corn, but put a stop in there below 388, because if it doesn't turn here with the new moon, there's something seriously wrong. Everybody wanted this stuff on May 15th, and now we're a month later. Actually, May 29th was the race for the Indianapolis 500. It was 97 degrees that day, the hottest May since 1937 in Indiana. And then the weather came, it's cooled off, rain came, the crops are looking great, and nobody wants it. But we're going to go through at least one or two crop scares this year, would be my guess, because anytime you have that much heat early in the year, it's usually reminiscent of something that is going to be rather tough on the crop. So we'll find out if that's going to be true as we go through some of these other things that we're watching. Now, I did want to bring up the chart for corn, because just to show you what it looks like, because it has a really interesting pattern. If you'll notice here in the Christmas corn, we're trading around 396 this morning. We got up to 401. We backed off about a nickel last night, and we've still held that 78% level. But that was very good support down there. It stopped right there, but you had that big wide bar the next day. So the next day, if it doesn't open lower, you just buy it and put your stop under the previous day's low, and you're in basically a free trade if that's going to be the case, because if it gets back there again, it's probably not very good. But as you can see, the big ABCD pattern that was made back there on the 29th of May, that was a perfect ABCD. It came within exactly 1/2 cent of the high. In other words, it went above it. It went above the projected number by a penny, so half a penny. So that's something that I think is quite amazing. The fact that it's that accurate, that's the real key to looking at it. Someone's asked a question about those 6 stocks that I posted, those big popular stocks, and the fact that they have not violated any of the numbers as of last week. And that's with the 3 up days that were the first 2 days of this week were already up, but they haven't violated those numbers as of yet. Now, they might today or tomorrow, but right now they haven't. So these patterns are still rather bearish in these major stocks. And we're talking Apple, Amazon, Facebook, Netflix, and Google, and National and United Healthcare, Facebook. I mean, they're all making a really interesting topping patterns. So maybe this is not the top. Maybe it is. All I can tell you is that it looks very, very interesting from a standpoint of just crowd psychology, because everybody wants to buy these things. We will have Norm on in another 6 minutes. You'll be able to ask him some questions, and what we'll do is we'll double check his timing things from yesterday to see if they were pretty much spot on. Remember, folks, when you're in these markets like we have now, you're really in, like Basil always says, a bifurcated market. And if you get a chance, listen to Basil's webinar on what he's predicting for the second half of the year. This guy's really good, so pay attention to it. But you can see here the New York Stock Exchange Index has not taken out the May highs as of yet. And it should, because the other ABCD is just a few pennies above that. So the NASDAQ is the one. That NASDAQ 100 has basically gone not quite parabolic, but it's gone up the same as it did during January. Between the the 1st of January and the 29th of January, it was basically straight up, and we've pretty much done the same thing in this. But we'll see. The one thing that's interesting is the fact that we've been up so many days in a row in the NASDAQ, yet it's repeating what it did during January. So you see that repetition over and over again in some of these markets, and that's what you really want to, try to focus on as you're looking at some of these things, to try to find an edge. Now, I wanted to take a quick look here at the euro, because we had a a pretty big break yesterday in the euro right before the close. That set up double ABCD patterns down there at the 177.25 level. And thus far, we did not take those. We've not reached those price levels as of yet. So the euro is still in a short-term uptrend, but in a longer-term downtrend, because we know that on longer term, we ran into very, very strong resistance at that 125 level in the euro, and I believe that we've still got more to go. If you'll notice here, this is the weekly chart in the euro, and then we will come right back and talk to Norman. We call it by the minute Winsky. Hey.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I believe we have Norm Winsky from Astro Trend on the line. Norm, are you there?
Yes, sir. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning. The first question out of the box, how did the timing go yesterday?
We're going to cover that in a few minutes.
Take it.
Okay.
You got the microphone, my friend. The show is yours.
It went very well. But first, I want to review what happened when I was on your show on a regular basis. Did my quickie yesterday with the intraday times. Well, the last time I did the full segment was back on May 25, just ahead of the Memorial Day weekend, which you were referring to a little while ago, and the full moon on Tuesday, May 29th. So what happened? I listed these markets back then. I talked about had some change in trends to do for cocoa. We're going to skip over the commodity index, hogs, oil, stocks, and T-bonds. Also had something on the 25th for cocoa, coffee, hogs, stocks, T-bonds. Then we had the full moon on the morning of the 29th. And I said round up the usual suspects, which are financials, grains, precious metals, and stocks. And then that night, we also had some indication for cocoa, coffee, hogs, stocks, and T-bonds. So a lot of repeating of the same markets. So on the screen now, I'm showing the cocoa market. I had a little bit of a top there, right about the 24th. My next date was just a day or so later, and that one did not work out. The market just kept going down. It's not. Believe it or not, this is not perfect. I know, it's shocking.
Oh, whoa! Now you tell us.
Yeah, I tricked you. I tricked you
Go
to get
ahead,
me on the show there. Thinking it was perfect. All right, let's look at the hogs. Though the hogs are a different story. Look at that. The hogs found the trough there, and then the little huggies ran up, and then that was pretty good. And then we had the day before the high there. I think it was maybe one handle away, right before that top there. That was pretty good. So we had the bottom. We had a nice little bottom there. We had a top. I think you could have made some money there. Now here's the story on the crude oil. I'm going to go back here and look at the planets. Okay, we had Jupiter. The big deal there was Jupiter 120. That's a key angle, 120 degrees. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. Neptune is oil. That means you're going to get more oil. Let's go look at the oil chart. What happened right there on the 24th? I think the data came out that the inventories were up. And all of a sudden they go, oh, look, we got more oil. And it broke that channel line that went all the way back to April, right on the day of my aspect. And there you go. You had the break out to the downside, and boom, the oil went down. So here's your S&P now on the dates that I gave you, the 24th, 25th. There's that first green arrow there, and then the 29th was a very nice pullback low. Here's your T-bonds. Not good on the pre-Memorial Day dates there. Not much happened. It just kept moving higher. So I have to take that as a miss. But we had almost perfect there, just ahead of the top. A few ticks ahead of the 1 day early, and a few ticks short of the top, I guess, on the 30th. So that worked out really well on the second window. Here's your dollar perfection. The high day was the full moon. Folks, if you're not looking at the new moon and full moon, you're missing out. It's like driving your car without any navigation. There we go. Here's the full moon right there on the high in the dollar. Here's your corn, near perfection. It's the trader's delight. We had made the top two trading days before. It pulled back, rallied back up to retest that high. We are just a few pennies short of that high, and then it's a ideal spot to short there, right on the full moon. Here's your beans. Same thing, but even better. They were closer to the top 2 days before on the full moon. There you go. Look at as Larry had talked about, the beans have had a big decline from that top, and we're coming into the new moon. I'll be talking about looking at what's coming up here in just a few minutes. Here's your wheat. That was the high. You had a spike high there, right on the full moon. I hope you folks are starting to see a pattern here now. Here's
Certainly
the gold.
like
What's that?
Certainly looks like it.
Yeah, here's your gold. Even gold has been kind of sleeping, but it managed to go and make a high. I think it was just a little short of the high day. Was the day before, maybe a few dollars lower, right there on the full moon. So here's your coffee. What did coffee do? I mentioned coffee. I had a day for the 29th, and we were trading into a little wedgie triangle pattern there, and it broke out. That's the one. That's kind of sort of the exception to the rule in terms of buying on the lows or selling on the highs. Often if it trades into a wedge or triangle, you'll come to the apex right on my key date. That's what happened here. We broke out right on the as we hit the apex of that and broke out to the upside. All right, so now we're going to talk about those intraday times. Okay, and there you go. So how do they work out? According to my evaluation, I gave you these times, so we don't take up too much time. I marked them on the chart here. Here's your S&P E-mini 1 minute bar chart. That was a beautiful low right there, right in that little bottom area there. That's a green arrow. And then we went up, and then we had this arrow just past the top. We had a little had a pullback, and then a little pop back up for retest high. So you had a little topping area there. We had a miss there. That little red arrow is a miss. Then we went down to right to the minutes for that little spike low there. Then we had a nice little rally for maybe 3-4 handles. Then we went down, and then we went back up, and we made a top just maybe a half a handle or so. Not more than a handle, about 3 minutes ahead of that high right there. And then we had a sharp decline, and then you had a miss there. And then we went down, and we got, you could have got long there, just a couple of minutes ahead of the low there, and less than a handle difference. And a little bit, probably could have picked up a couple handles there. And then it dropped, and then we rallied, and then you had a little short-term top there. And then it zigzagged around, and then had a sharp rally, and we caught that. That was a 354. That was just ahead, a couple ticks ahead of that top there. And then we had a sharp decline into the closing bell. And so that's 7 out of 10, I believe I hit. And I think you could have made some nice money on that. I got one of my students, he traded this yesterday and told me that he managed to turn some of these red ones in the green. He hit 9 out of 10. Said he made 18 handles, 18 and a half handles. Just trade onesies, trading one lot. So
that's a lot of handles.
That's enough so to supersize at Wendy's, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we're going to look ahead. How much time do we have to the break there, Larry?
About a minute, so don't worry about the break. We'll get the music.
Anyway, so yes, as you said, we're going to have a new moon this afternoon, 3:40 p.m. I believe is the time, and so here we go. It's not in Gemini; it's in Gemini, so we consider that, but there's no commodity that I associate directly with the sign Gemini. If you're trading stock sectors, that's more might be some news on transportation or telecommunications or something in that neighborhood. But other than that, that's in the commodity land. We're just going to look at the usual suspects, which are grains, precious metals, and financials. And so we'll see. We
got the music now. Norm, when we come back, I want to talk a little. We have a question from one of our listeners about this merger between AOL and the astrology part. So we'll ask you when you come back, okay?
All righty.
Okay, Norm Winsky of Astro Trend. We'll be right back, folks. 877-927-6648.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN has put together the finest programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 8 hours a day, starting at 9 a.m. as Larry Pesavento kicks us off with Trade What You See. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. Swim lessons from TD Ameritrade Think or Swim is now at 11 a.m., followed by Basil Chapman at 12 noon. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows and hosts. And keep TFNN's Tiger TV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour, brought to you by Nadex. Next on TFNN.
Okay, we're back with Norm Winsky of AstroTrend. And Norm, I have 2 questions. The first question comes from one of our listeners out in Colorado, and that is this thing that's going on with AOL and Time Warner. You mentioned something about communication with one of the planets. Would that have some type of effect on that thing as far as that ruling coming out of the DOJ? Does that have any bearing on astrology or not?
The day before the new moon in Gemini, that only occurs once a year, and that's the day they finally gave it that okay. Other than that, I don't really care about stocks. Why trade stocks?
Okay, that's okay.
Why trade stocks when you can trade these futures, and it's a lot simpler, and you don't have to worry about the news and stuff.
You don't have to yell at me, Norm. I'm just giving you the questions. I'm just teasing you. Okay, the next question is regarding these times that you're looking at. Yesterday, there was a cluster of times around that 12 o'clock, 12:11 to 12:34, and the person said, did that have more significance than any of the other of the ones that were there, because there were 3 of them very close together?
Well, they were separate. They were far enough apart that I think they tended to act independently. If you ever get to where they're piling up within a couple of minutes of each other, that can be an important cluster, But these were 14, 23, 36. If that's what you're talking about. So there was, you had a fair amount of separation there,
Okay. You want to continue?
Yes, sir. So we were talking about the new moon this afternoon. All my times are U.S. Eastern Time. If you're not familiar with that, that's like New York. You're overseas. And so let's go look at these charts real quick. Quick review. Go back to, we're going to look at the grains first, I think. Oh, we got the stocks there too. Yeah, where are the grains? There's your S&P. It's been kind of moving up, flirting with the highs here. I had a big harmonic cluster on Monday for a top, and so far that's been the top. Probably looks like we're going to go back up and retest that high, and then I think good chance we might roll over after today, after the new moon. Here's your T bonds. We're going to be talking about those in a minute. They've been pulling back. To me, this like if the bonds can stop their consolidation and decline here in the next day or so, this could have been just like an A of a ABC, and this could be the B decline, B pullback. I think you might get my longer term fractal model says that the bonds could hang up here for a couple more months, and then you want to buy your bond puts in August. If that scenario plays out, then they're going off the cliff, Then I know you hate bonds, Larry, so should make.
Oh, no! I don't hate anything. I like to trade them.
I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
But you talk about how you want to short the bonds all the time, so
Yeah.
So there you go.
That's only because they're in a downtrend.
So bonds are the last reshort, right? They get it the last reshort. Okay, bad joke. All right, and here's your dollar. Dollar's kind of been edging up here the last few days, so that looks like if that were to follow through, that could be kind of like a little retest high. Basically, you're looking for these markets to get to some sort of extreme, and 75, 80% of the time, they're probably going to reverse when they do that. Whatever direction they are going into the new moon, they're probably going to reverse. There you go. There's your corn.
Norm, we have a guest caller from Canada. Philip, are you there?
Hello, Larry. I'm there.
Okay, you've got Norm on the line. Go ahead, my friend.
Oh, I just wanted to testify on behalf of Norm because before I met him in January, I was inconsistent in my day trading. And then I started using his key times, and they've been keeping me consistent for 3 months now. And I just wanted to tell that to the folks that if they weren't consistent, they should consider looking at those times if they day trade the S&P E-mini.
Nope, that's very good. And I make sure that Norm, gives you the check for bringing you on the air today. No, I'm just teasing you, Philip, but thank you for calling in. He deserves a lot of credit, because he brings his numbers to us, and they've been working relatively well, much better than relatively well, and we appreciate you, calling in and telling us, because there's not many. We get a lot of rotten vegetables thrown at us sometimes, so whenever we get a good compliment, it's really like to know, it's to see that. So that's it.
I just thought I'd give my due diligence because I've been pretty happy with my results, and
Boy, somebody's asking if you're related to Norm. No, we know better than that, but no, I know that. No, I've known Norm for 35 years, and he wouldn't do that under any circumstances. But it's always nice to hear that. Thank you very much, Philip.
Thanks for calling in, Cousin Phil.
Yeah. Norm, yeah, I don't know if I can't remember that guy's name that used to do that all the time. He would always have shills in the audience, and he would he was out of Florida, and he always wore a lot of gold jewelry and stuff. He's a famous astrologer, and he did that all the time. And finally, the AAA threw him out because he was, these people would get up and say, I made $10 million with you last year. We love you. We love you. And it was just one after another. And then finally, the Lieutenant Commander Williams put a stop to it. He said, no more of this. Anyway, go ahead.
What I find is that Norm can't lie, right? Because he gives these times ahead of time. So he can't go back and change whatever he said, right?
That's correct. You're very good, Philip. You're absolutely correct. What part of Canada are you from?
I'm in Ottawa, Ontario.
Oh, wow. You're out there in cowboy country. Well, listen, thank you for calling in. We really appreciate it.
All right. I appreciate your show. Take care.
Okay. Go ahead, Norm.
All right. Anyway, I started to say there's your corn there, and it had been coming down, down, down. Yesterday, we had a little pop up there. That's not the ideal. That's kind of spoiling our party. We'd like to see the corn come back down here in the next day or so and make a nice low. This is what if this were to continue, I call it, unless we made the low a day early, that's what I call an aversion move, where the market says, I don't want to make a low there, and then it goes back up. We had that, let's see there. Oh, here's the beans did that. Let's see, back here in May, they did that where they didn't bottom where they were supposed to on the 15th, 14th, 15th. They had a little pop up, and then they rolled over right on the new moon there in the middle of May, and then they went down and made a lower low. So if you're looking to buy these things, you want them to come down right around the new moon. There's your beans, down, down, down. They look like the cleanest pattern right now because they're not doing the little bounce thing. They're ahead of the new moon. Wheat did the bounce yesterday too.
And when is the new moon, Norm?
This afternoon.
Today. This afternoon, right during the Fed time, or
right after 3:40 Fed time is about right around 2. So that's going to be interesting because it's only 90 minutes difference, between the Fed announcement and the new moon. All right. So there you go. So they're looking for if you want to buy gold, you want to see gold pull back here now just a little bit. Now the gold pattern in the last several months gold has been like always one day late to the new moon or new moon, full moon, right? All right, let's jump ahead here now. What else we got? We got the financials indicated here over the next day, the 14th to the 15th. Stocks, T-bonds, dollar. Okay, so we got a kind of a double day here. And then after that, we already looked at those charts. And then the big deal coming up next week is 18th after the close. That's after the close overnight. Neptune will be turning retrograde, and that's the screaming Look at the crude oil. Now we want to see, the crude oil needs to get to some sort of extreme. My preference, and that certainly doesn't mean it's going to happen. I think it would be nice if the crude oil would rally back up, maybe make some sort of retest high. That would be a beautiful thing. That would be a great setup to short the crude again. But,
another beautiful thing is we've got a commercial, so stay with us, and we'll be right back with Norm Winsky of AstroTrend.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools, as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back with our good friend Norm Winsky. And Norm, you want to tell the folks how they can reach you?
Yes, sir. Just want to wrap it up here with the big thing, 18th to 19th next week. Keep your eye on for extreme in the oil and also the stock market. Could be something big there, okay? Let's talk about get the free stuff. Contact me. There's my contact information on the screen. I offer a free class for the folks who say Larry sent me. I got a free class. You get a free subscription for the month. And I give you basically a college education for traders. It's a 6-hour class, one-on-one on Skype. And I'm going to go through my letter there and teach you all my different forecasting methods. And most people really love that. And you get to learn about the day trading and the swing trading. And I have a very good batting average. I think my numbers right now are somewhere in the high 70s. And I've been doing this a long time. I started studying the markets when I was 15, and I'm 67 now. I spent 12 years on the trading floor there in Chicago with CBOE and Board of Trade. So I got a little bit of experience. Looking forward to helping some folks. I also offer free coaching if you need to improve your trading. You need a little coaching, you sign up for my stuff. I'll help coach you, help you get your trading act together. So there's my contact information. I'm in sunny Florida. You can call me 239-594-3939. Email me in Winski, that's NWINSKI, at embark, EMBARQ, or you can call me on Skype at norm.winski. Looking forward to helping some of your friends, some of your folks there, Larry, and call me right away because last month I was like totally booked up a week or two in advance. So I'm taking the registrations now for July class. So call me right away. Looking forward to helping the folks, Larry.
Okay.
Everybody
Thanks
have
for
a great
calling
day.
in, Norm. We appreciate you having you, my friend, and we'll have you back on again when we have some astrology stuff in the sky.
Okay.
Norm Winski of AstroTrend. Thanks a lot, Norm.
You bet. Thanks a lot, Larry.
Thank you, folks.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get them, folks.